Welcome to Tokyo, home of 12 days of compelling competition in the 2020 Paralympic Games. Coming up in our latest show, the United States begin their defense of their wheelchair basketball title. Germany provide the opposition. In the pool, Sheng Li from China and Great Britain's Tully Kearney renew their rivalry. While at the velodrome, there's power and pace in the races for 4 more Paralympic titles. Swimming at the Tokyo Aquatic Center, where 3-time Paralympic champion Daniel de Faria Dias of Brazil in lane 5 was the favorite to win gold in the men's 100-meter freestyle S5 final. But he'd face stiff competition. All 3 swimmers in the white caps from the People's Republic of China made strong starts. And at the turn, it was Chinese swimmer Yuan Wei, the fastest qualifier overall, who was in front. But this race was far from over, and it came down to the last few meters.
It is Wang who is leading the way. He is making a real charge here, a man who picked up 4 golds at London 2019. Indeed, he has never won a gold medal in a freestyle event, only in backstroke and breaststroke. He might change that here. Bocciato in lane 2, though, looks to be pipping him, and indeed, with the reach, out touches Wang as Diaz picks up the 26th medal to come home just ahead of Zheng Dao and Yuan Wei. But what a swim from Bocciato. He picks up his 2nd gold medal in the pool.
On to the women's 100-meter freestyle S5 final, and Great Britain's Tully Kearney had a point to prove after narrowly missing out on a gold medal in the pool earlier in the competition. Her nemesis, the reigning Paralympic champion Sheng Li from the People's Republic of China, was swimming next to her in lane 3. British swimmer Kearney was ahead at the turn. Could she hang on to win her first Paralympic gold medal?
Well, it looks like Tully Kearney really is in the sweet spot, and she's well ahead of world record pace here, despite the fact that Sheng Li will be chasing down perhaps that line. It doesn't seem that she's going to be able to chase down Tully Kearney. Susanna Hext is looking good for a medal for Great Britain, but watch out. Both Perales and Boccioni are making moves, but the world record is going to be shattered here by Tully Kearney, who claims gold spectacularly. Sheng Li will finish with a silver medal, but the battle for bronze here between 4 swimmers, and it's eventually Boccioni who's made her move from lane 6, who comes home to out-touch Susanna Hext. But what a victory in world record time for Tully Kearney. She has absolutely stormed to victory.
Italy's Luigi Beggiato had dominated in the heats of the men's 100-meter freestyle S4 class. The Italian in the blue cap in lane 4 got off to a fast start. And at the turn, he'd started to pull away from Japanese swimmer Suzuki Takayuki, who was swimming in the lane next to him. But 34-year-old Suzuki was still battling.
It is Takayuki Suzuki who finds himself just off the shoulder here of Luigi Beggiato. The 23-year-old is holding on, but Suzuki is magnificent in how he is trying to fight back, and is genuinely fighting back here. He has now taken the lead, and I can tell you this simply because every Japanese official or volunteer in this arena has stood up and applaud now as Japan gets another gold. Beggiato will take the silver, and bronze goes to Zhdanov, but in Paralympic record time. That was sheer determination and resilience in the pool, and he can celebrate.
Colombia's Nelson Corzo Crispin was the man to beat going into the final of the men's 200-meter individual medley SM6. His closest rival, Andrei Granichka of the Russian Paralympic Committee. He'd qualified second overall in the heats. The Chinese swimmer in lane 8, Wan Jingang, swam a strong first length and went ahead. But Colombia's Nelson Corzo Crispin in the black cap took control. He never let up.
China looking to hold on for medals. Granichka is trying to come back. He's almost zigzagging a little in the lane, but Crispin is out on his own and he is not going to be caught. He is determined. He is struggling through this final 50 free, but he is looking to power his way to the wall in world record time. Is he going to do it? He does so in world record time. Colombia take gold and Crispin has it in magnificent fashion. A gold medal. Granichka does manage to claw his way back into silver medal position, while Chia Hongwon silver 5 years ago has to claim the bronze. Was there ever any doubt?
And in the final of the women's 200-metre individual medley SM6, Ukraine's Yelizaveta Mereshko in the orange cap in lane 4 was looking to make it 2 golds in 2 days. Her biggest rival, 31-year-old Elizabeth Marks of the United States of America in the black cap in the middle of the screen. And she got off to a strong start and was leading at the first turn. But going into the last 100 metres, it was 19-year-old Maisie Summers-Newton of Great Britain who was out in front.
Is Maisie Summers-Newton going to hold on? It looks like she's got a big enough lead. It's not going to be a world record, is it? Oh, she pushes home in the final few moments and does touch in world record time. Claims it back from Mereshko and she's beaten the world record holder. Claimed back her world record and claimed a gold in the pool. In the women's 200 IM, as Verena's shot holds on so impressively for a bronze medal, that was brilliant from the 19-year-old.
Men's wheelchair basketball and an opening round match between Australia and Islamic Republic of Iran. Australia, 2-time Paralympic Games champions, were looking to return to the podium after a disappointing 6th place finish in Rio. Iran were making their 4th appearance in the Paralympic Games after finishing in 10th place in Rio. Australia did not waste any time to open the scoring.
Real pace on the break. Tom O'Neill Thorne gets the opening score, and there is the danger from Australia. Really good counter-attack inside.
Australia scored the first 9 points of the game and built a 20-point advantage in the first quarter. A rare highlight here for Iran as Mohammad Hassan Sahari scored the basket and drew a foul. Despite the one-sided score, the athletes were giving it their all. Australia's Michael Law Prince was flagged for an unsportsmanlike foul on this play. Australia's Tristan Knowles put his talents on display, including passing.
Knowles, great onto McPhail. Knowles to McPhail, stylish and great.
And three-point shooting.
That's lovely for Knowles.
Knowles made 2 3-point shots in the first half. Australia led by 29 points at the intermission. The second half looked a lot like the first half, including more all-out hustle by both sides.
Neil Thorne walked down.
The round's foul number 6.
Brent Stibners led the Aussies with 21 points as Australia sent a message to the rest of the field that they plan to be strong medal contenders in Tokyo. A decisive 42-point opening round win over Iran.
Men's wheelchair basketball, the Group B match saw Great Britain take on Algeria. Great Britain came into the tournament as world champions and one of the favorites for gold. Algeria's team has been building, and this is the second Paralympic Games they've qualified for in a row. The British were off to an early lead, thanks large in part to Greg Warburton.
Defensive rebound by Warburton as he takes it back on offense. Always looking, always surveying the scene. Is there a shot? Is there a pass? This time he judges there's a shot, and he nails it on the glass and in.
In the first quarter, he scored 8 points, putting pressure on Algeria. In the second, Algeria fought to keep the scores close. They worked together and kept their passes tight to break down the British defense.
Mansour, little fake, puts up the shot, it's in.
But as the first half came to an end, a foul by Refugee Mansouri put Algeria in a penalty situation and a difficult position for the rest of the match.
So any fouls now will send Great Britain to the free throw line. Highwater puts it up, puts it in.
In the third quarter, Algeria's Bilal Ayash tried to help make up the 16-point deficit.
Ayash, yes, hits the three.
But there was no stopping Great Britain, a powerhouse in wheelchair basketball.
Little fake by Chowdhury. Dishes inside for Brown, puts it up. Won't fall. Then it does. Every day of the week.
And with a commanding lead in the fourth,
Lewis Edwards and his first to Paralympic Games.
the British took the win and were pleased with their start in the tournament. Final score, Great Britain 70, Algeria 40.
Goalball is a sport for people who are visually impaired or blind. It's an indoor sport, 3-on-3, played on a court approximately the size of an international volleyball court.
And when we play, we wear blacked out shades, so there's absolutely no vision at all. We can't see when we play. And we take a ball that has bells in it here, and we throw this back and forth, trying to get it into the other team's goal, staying at our own end.
It has an offense like an underhand softball or bowling style throw, and a defense like goalkeeping in soccer.
It's a lot like the opposite of dodgeball. We really want the ball to hit us, and then we have 10 seconds to find the ball and throw it back to try to score on our opponents.
In the men's goalball competition, the Paralympic silver medalists from Rio 2016, United States, opened up their Group 3 campaign against the Rio bronze medalists, Brazil. Two of the strongest goalball nations had met at the semi-final stage in Rio. USA produced a heavy 10-1 victory that day over the South Americans. But Brazil have since been gold medalists at the last two World Championships and ranked #1 in the world, sensed a chance to avenge that defeat. There was drama and tension before a ball had even been thrown.
Wow, how's that for a start to this match? A penalty before the match has even started. They were too slow in taking to the court.
The USA penalised and Brazil took full advantage.
And it's an early goal.
But the USA were fired up and came fighting back.
And it's a goal, and USA are level.
Then more drama on the stroke of half-time. A rare mistake from the world #1s, and the Americans took the lead in unusual fashion.
Well, it's an own goal. Jose Marcio Souza dropped the ball in his own net there. He just lost the grip of it.
Errors were proving costly for both sides, and the USA were made to pay for a penalty, giving Brazil the lead back at 5-4. But from there, the Rio silver medalists took hold of the game, scoring 4 times without reply.
And it's Carl Young with yet another goal for USA. Well, that's it. What a dramatic game this has been.
Victory to USA over the world champions by 8 goals to 6, and a repeat success to follow their semi-final Paralympic win at Rio 2016.
Então, acho que a gente tem que se impor, né? Como eu falei, na parte defensiva, tentar se concentrar o máximo possível para a gente tentar conseguir a classificação, né, para as quartas finais.
In Group D of the women's goalball, the Paralympic champions from Rio 2016, Turkey, followed their 7-1 win against Japan in their opening game with a match against Egypt, who were playing their first match at Tokyo 2020. In goalball rules, any team that takes a 10-goal advantage wins the match. But the underdogs, Egypt, struck first.
And that's an early goal for Egypt. A sensational start. The skipping bounce just going right over.
It was a long way for Egypt's defence to hold out from there. And Turkey, who were also reigning European champions, hit straight back.
Smooth run by Sevda Altunaluk, and it wasn't going to be long before she was on the score sheets.
And before Egypt had time to shore up their defences, Altunaluk had scored 3 times in the space of less than 2 minutes. There was no let-up. One of the world's top women players was almost winning the match on her own.
And that's her 6th goal of the match.
Altunaluk scored a 7th in succession before Egypt broke her scoring streak with a consolation goal.
It's another goal for Egypt. A lovely effort.
But remarkably, the Turkish goals kept flowing, and under goalball rules, the match was over before half-time as Turkey took a 10-goal lead at 12-2 with less than 9 minutes played.
And it's over!
A brave effort from the underdogs Egypt, but no match for the gold medal favourites. Turkey had made it 2 wins from 2 games, winning by 12 goals to 2.
This is our second game and second win in a row, and we would like to win all the games and win the title again.
Josef Metelka from Slovakia is a very successful long-distance cyclist, but he's also impressed in this short C4 to 5 1,000-meter time trial with only 4 laps to compete. Metelka trailed for most of the distance, but he excelled in the last lap.
He's digging deep now.
He crosses the line, and he is going into the gold medal position. Factor time of 1:04.786 to Josef Metelka.
Great Britain's Jodie Cundy has been the dominant athlete in this class for a long time. The 42-year-old defending Paralympic champion holds the world record. He was set to win another gold.
This is looking super fast. We might see a record go here. Jodie Cundy is on fire down the back straight.
Cundy's going to bring it home, and he'll bring it home just outside his world record, but another medal.
The British team celebrated, but there was one more rider to go. Alfonso Cabello Llamas of Spain. Could he do the unthinkable and upset the world and Paralympic champion?
He's been the fastest man over 3 laps, and he is still in front. He is still going for the new Paralympic record. He throws to the line.
In a sensational final ride in the new world record time.
Muy contento y muy agradecido. Representa el trabajo de años mío y de muchas personas que tengo detrás para llegar aquí. Y muy feliz de haber rendido aún por encima de lo que esperaba. Y muy contento de poder estar aquí y llevarme para casa el oro, que era el claro objetivo.
In the men's C1 3,000 meters individual pursuit, the defending Paralympic champion Li Zhengju of the People's Republic of China didn't make it to the gold medal race. But he had a chance to win bronze instead against Spain's Ricardo Ten Argiles. It was a close race in the first half, but Zhengju turned it up in the last laps. He won his 6th Paralympic medal. The gold and silver were contested between Mikhail Asashov of the Russian Paralympic Committee, who set a new world record in the qualifying earlier in the day, and Canada's Tristan Chernov, a silver medalist from Rio 2016. The riders starting on opposite sides of the track. Astashov again set a big pace. The Russian started to close in on the Canadian and had him in sight at the halfway point. There was no stopping him.
Well, he's closing in now. And he passed him, and that is the race. A phenomenal performance by Astashov.
He takes the gold medal.
Это моя первая победа на больших международных стартах.
It was my dream to become a Paralympic champion. This was my first international competition. It was a long wait, but I'm super happy.
Просто сделал свою мечту явью, да и все.
The bronze medal race in the men's C2 3,000 meters individual pursuit was between Yang Shuha of the People's Republic of China, wearing a red helmet, and Kawamoto Shota of Japan. Kawamoto with a fast start on his home track, but his early pace might have been too fast. Yang coming from the left and won the bronze. The gold medal final featured Alexandre Léaud of France, who set a new world record in qualifying, and Australia's Darren Hicks, world champion in 2019. Rising star Léaud in his first Paralympic Games started with a fast pace, and he was looking to hold on to his lead.
Well, at such a young age, 20 years of age, this is going to be a special moment from the rider from France. Pushes to the line.
And he will do it in world record time. 3:31.478.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Ça représente énormément de travail. Voilà, on en bave toute l'année à l'entraînement pour pouvoir avoir des émotions comme ça nous procure.
I train all
Donc
year
voilà,
to then have emotions like these at the end.
Demain on y retourne.
I have a gold medal today,
médaille.
but I will be chasing another medal tomorrow.
Qui m'ont aidé à être ici aujourd'hui.
There are a lot of people
D'abord
that
mon
helped me
entraîneur
get to this
qui
point.
je remercie beaucoup,
My
accompagné de
coach,
Céline pour
my
la
family,
préparation mentale,
my friends
ma famille,
who have
mes amis
supported
qui
me
me
all year.
soutiennent
The medical staff, physios, everyone who's helped me.
m'accompagne avec la médecine.
This is not just my medal. It's a medal for the whole
La
team.
préparation physique. Donc voilà, j'aimerais tous les remercier et ce n'est pas que ma médaille, c'est la médaille de tout un collectif.
In the bronze medal race of the C3 3,000 meter individual pursuit, the defending Paralympic champion David Nicholas of Australia, here in yellow, took on Spain's Eduardo Santos Asensio. Nicholas established a narrow lead and he never let go of it. Australia. The gold medal final was between two riders from the cycling powerhouse of Great Britain. World record holder Jaco van Gas, a 35-year-old veteran, up against 21-year-old Finley Graham. Van Gas in the lead at the halfway mark, but youngster Graham didn't let up.
Last turn for Jaco van Gas. He's in the gold medal position here. Can he make it out to the line? He can. The gold medal just ahead of his fellow countryman Finley Graham.
It means a great deal. It really means a lot. It's pride. It's self-belief. It's a relief. It's a long time I've been working towards this. I've been inspired by London, having sit in the stands, seeing the guys go around, and I was like, I want to be part of that. I pushed towards Rio. I didn't make the final team. I had to reassess. I left the team. I went off to do my own thing, and I came back, and we're finally here. So it's 9 years of incredible hard work, a lot of up and downs, and we're finally here with the one prize that I always wanted.
Japan faced Denmark in Group A of the wheelchair rugby. The home nation and current world champions against the team making its Paralympic debut at Tokyo 2020. Both teams had won tight opening games in the competition, but it was Japan who immediately raced into a dominant position in this match. Captain Ike Tomoaki and number 7 Ikezaki Daisuke at the heart of much of some fine Japanese play in the first period.
Wonderful play, well together there, and maintain his composure there.
4-point half-time lead became 6 by the end of the third period for Japan. Ikazaki again doing the damage for the home nation as they continue to add to an increasing lead over the Danes.
This Japan team is going to be one to watch. They're right on song here, and I think we're going to see them at the business end of the tournament. That was wonderful defence there from Hashimoto, who forced backboard violation from Peters and earned his team the turnover.
19 years of age and full of enthusiasm. I guess at that age you can be full of bravado as well, and it's really important that you get out there and you get this experience of playing in these situations, and that's exactly what he's doing there as he crashes in to Peters and then hands the ball over the top, veteran style.
A comprehensive win for Japan by 60 points to 51. They play the double Olympic champions Australia in their final group game. Denmark face France next, where a win can still see them progress.
We have to go and play against France and hopefully win. Then we're going to see if we're in the semi-finals or not. But I hope so. We came here to compete for medals, and so far it's up in the air.
France met Australia in their second Group A pool game in the wheelchair rugby. This was a must-win for both teams. The defeats in their first matches, it would not be possible for the losing team to progress to the semi-finals. France had led the world champions Japan until the final period of their opening group game, and they made a good start against the reigning Olympic champions in this match too. Captain Jonathan Ivanard again demonstrated his worth to the French side as he scored 8, and France took a narrow 13-12 lead at the end of the first period. Australia made an entry into the record books in the second period when Shea Graham became the first woman to feature and score for them in the games. In another close and bruising quarter that ended with the team in green and gold leading by a single point at half-time. Into the third period, and there was still nothing to separate these two teams, and when Ivanard was not scoring himself, he turned creator for another player featuring in their first Paralympics, Sébastien Verdun, who was proving a constant threat for France. But Australia continued to respond. Jaden Warne, another first-time Paralympian, showed great control of his chair as the game continued to flow from end to end. Into the fourth quarter, and with just over 4 minutes remaining, Australia's captain Riley Back made the crucial intervention. As the ball was gathered by France's Christophe Salagui, Back's contact forced the French number 13 back over his own halfway line, and possession was surrendered to the Australians. Andrew Edmondson scored from the resulting play, and Australia suddenly had the all-important 2-point lead. France couldn't force the turnover they needed as the clock ran out. It ended France 48, Australia 50. France again lost a close encounter in the final period. They cannot progress from the group now. Australia kept their medal hopes alive.
The powerlifting events at the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games started with the men's minus 49 kg category. Each athlete has 3 attempts to record their heaviest lift, and Omar Sami Hamad Guarade of Jordan was one of the medal contenders. His lift of 170 kg took him into the lead. In the second round, Torvin Mamadov of Azerbaijan, a 2016 European champion, tried 156 kilos. He did it and was right in the medal contention. Lee Pham Trong of Vietnam, a reigning Paralympic champion in this category, he was still aiming to repeat his success at Rio. With 170 kg on the bar, he equaled Jordan's Guarade total. Then the Jordanian tried 172 kg, but it wasn't to be. In the final round of lift, Nigeria's Yakubu Adesokan needed to achieve this lift with 161 kilos on the bar to climb into a medal position. But he couldn't do it, so Mamadou of Azerbaijan finished on the podium instead. The competition for the gold medal position came down to a duel between Jordan's Quarada and Lee Van Chong of Vietnam. 173 kilos for both in their last attempts, and the Vietnamese lifter delivered. The lower body weight of Jordanian lifter meant he just needed a successful lift here to claim the gold medal, and he did it. So the top two had switched their position from Rio 2016. This time the silver medal for Vietnam's Lee Van Chong and Omar Sami Hamadeh Quarada of Jordan took the Paralympic title. In the women's powerlifting minus 41 kilogram category, Guo Lingling of People's Republic of China had an impressive start, 105 kilos on the bar. A new Paralympic record. Venezuela's Clara Sarahi Fuentes Monasterio tried 97 kilogram for a second time. This time she did it and put herself into medal contention. However, China's Guo Linglin was in a class on her own as she tried to beat her own world record. 108 kilogram. No lift this time. Nin Njah Widiasih had won Indonesia's first Paralympic powerlifting medal in Rio. She had a chance to edge the Venezuelan lifter down the standings. As she delivered, she was guaranteed a medal. There was one last lift for Monasterio to secure her the silver medal. It wasn't meant to be, but still a bronze medal for Venezuela to celebrate. In the powerlifting, a special fourth attempt is allowed to break a world record. 109 kilogram on the bar for the Chinese lifter. Setting all records at her first Paralympic Games. What a performance of Guo Lingling.
I have
been interested in design since school, where I joined the art club.
そういった経緯で、美術大学に進学して、そこで広告制作とかそういったことを学ぶ機会があって、そこから今広告制作会社に入ってデザイナーとして仕事をしています。デザインのコンペティションが開催されているということを私の上司から話を聞いて、絶対決まらないだろうなっていう気持ちもありながら応募したんですけども、私がパラリンピックのメダルのデザインをすることになりました。私の中で3つ大切にしたいと思っていたことが、1つ目が世界中のどんな障害をお持ちの方でも同じようにこのデザインを受けた時に喜んでもらえる、楽しんでもらえるようなデザインにしたいと思いました。2つ目がそのメダルを10年20年経ってもこれは日本でのメダルだというのが見て分かるようなデザインにしたいと思いました。で3つ目がこのメダルを受け取る選手の方が主役になれる、そういったデザインにしたいと思いました。I hope that this medal will become a symbol of hope and a driving force for moving forward, not only for athletes, but also for people around the world.
Georgia Wilson of Great Britain may have been a late addition to the competition in the Grade 2 dressage individual test, but she set the early mark for all of her competitors to follow. The event tested the riders' skills at controlling their horses' movements, everybody performing the same routine. Wilson and her horse Sakura were initially named as reserves, but they were promoted when another horse on the Great Britain team suffered a minor veterinary issue. Wilson's score of almost 72% put her in first place after the first 3 riders had been competing. Peppo Pusch of Austria was considered to be the clear favourite to win the gold medal due to his recent performances riding Sailors Blue. Pusch got off to a strong start and was scoring well with the judges, but the horse suddenly changed pace. Reduced his score. coach regained control to finish strongly. The score of over 73% put him in first place. Time ran out for Céline Journy of France. She was considered a serious contender for the gold medal, but didn't seem to realise she'd missed the deadline to start her performance. The judges told Journy she'd been eliminated before she'd been able to perform. A heartbreaking moment. The decision also meant Journy wouldn't be able to compete in the freestyle competition later in these games. Lee Pearson of Great Britain was the last remaining contender, having won gold medals at each of the last 5 editions of the Paralympic Games. He gave the outstanding performance on his horse Breezer. Pearson's score of 76.265% meant he won the 12th Paralympic gold medal of his career.
Very well done indeed. Pearson and to Breezer.
Bush won the silver medal, and the bronze medal went to Pearson's teammate Georgia Wilson.
The round-robin phase of the table tennis continued at the Tokyo Metropolitan Gymnasium. In the men's draw, defending Rio 2016 champion Florian Van Acker faced Japan's Takamori Takeshi in class 11 for intellectual impairment. Takamori, who finished 5th in his first ever Paralympic Games 5 years ago, started the stronger, taking the opening game 11-7. And the home favourites had a 9-5 lead in the second game, before Belgium's Van Acker stepped up a gear.
From the depths of despair in this game, he's pulled himself back into this and now has game point on the Takamori serve. What a turnaround. Now that will give him some impetus here going into the third.
Takamori couldn't capitalise on a 6-2 lead in the third as Van Acker instead took a 2-1 lead, and in a game of long rallies and high drama, it was 10-all late in a tense fourth game.
And Takamori goes back into the lead and now has game point. And he has taken the game to a level up.
Takamori faded in the deciding game, having given it his all, and Van Acker survived a scare to wrap up victory by winning a more comfortable Game 5. In Group B, Great Britain's Thomas Matthews faced the Rio 2016 bronze medalist Nam Ki-won from the Republic of Korea in Class 1. 29-year-old Matthews surged into a 2-game lead courtesy of some effective serving, but the third was tighter.
10 serving 11. Kill shot in near the table, and Nam Ji-won saves the game 12-10.
The fourth game followed a similar pattern with plenty of quick points and lead changes. And with the scores tied at 9-all, it was a question of which player would hold their nerve.
Matthews with the skylob. The Tetra comes down near the sideline. A bit of side spin on it. He is 1 point away from a massive victory. And he does it. Matthews, Thomas Matthews of Great Britain, the 29-year-old world rank number 8, has taken down Nam Ji-won of Korea, the world number 3.
In the women's draw, all eyes were on Japan's Furukawa Kanami following her impressive opening game win over the Rio 2016 gold medalist Natalia Kosmina. The 24-year-old was up against France's Léa Ferny in Class 11. 17-year-old Ferny took the opening game, but Furukawa battled back to get to match point in the second game.
And that aggression that we were expecting started to come out, and Furukawa just drives it into the net.
The Japanese player couldn't convert, and Ferny went on to punish her. And with the 2-0 lead, Ferny started to dominate on her serve, winning 8 points off it in the third game. Furukawa was able to keep pace, though, to set up an exciting finish.
She's done it. It was a struggle in the third game, but Léa Ferny has won her first Group B match
And in Class 7, Turkey's Kubra Korkut, a runner-up at Rio 2016, played the Russia Paralympic Committee's Victoria Safonova. Safonova, who beat Korkut to win bronze at London 2012, won the opening game, dominating on her serve, but Korkut edged an enthralling second game to draw level. Korkut found herself 7-1 down in the third, but fought back to level up at 10-all, with both players knowing the importance of winning the game.
From 7-1 down in that game, Kubra Korkut comes through it.
Korkut pulled ahead in the fourth game, courtesy of 4 straight points to take her 8-4 up, and the Turkish player could sense victory.
Match points for Korkut. She does it! Big win!
Korkut was not only second at the last Paralympics, but also the runner-up at the last World and European Championships. With 2 wins from her first 2 games, she's showing the form which suggests she'll be in contention here at Tokyo 2020.
Women's wheelchair basketball, the United States of America against Spain. Spain were looking for a strong start in their first game at Tokyo 2020. The USA are defending gold medalists that needed to regroup coming off a loss in their opening game. And they were off to a strong start.
USA looking to open up the game with the first 2 points. Rose Holloman behind the screen, and it is good.
But this three-pointer from Spain's Virginia Perez sent a warning message.
And it's good. Perez for 3.
Spain was determined to give the Americans a fight. In the second quarter, the momentum shifted.
Ryan with the right-handed scoop, great control, able to put it in.
And Spain struggled as the Americans positioned themselves well on the court, giving Spain few options but to attempt difficult shots.
Difficult shot there by Montiel, lots of contact. USA gathering up the defensive rebound. 2 Spanish players are out. USA will have an offensive advantage. They find Schneider wide open. Nice layup by Schneider.
By the fourth quarter, even more trouble for Spain.
Zerbro coming away with the steal. Running a 2-on-1, Rose Hollerman wide open. Finds the layup on the right side.
Hollerman, a star player on the American squad, would go on to score 20 points and 8 assists. Spain's score stalled at 31 points, unable to land any of their shots. And then the Americans' lead became daunting with the help of Lindsay Zerbro.
Zerbro driving to the basket. Another 2 points for Zerbro. Zerbro lining up the three-pointer, and it's good.
Spain managed to get a basket in the final seconds of the match, but it was too little, too late. Final score, the United States of America 68, Spain 32. Wheelchair basketball in the men's Group A, the Republic of Korea played Turkey. The Koreans were looking to bounce back after a disappointing loss in their opening match. While this was a first appearance at this Games for Turkey, who just missed out on the medals at Rio 2016 with a 4th place finish. It was a hard-fought first quarter as the Koreans put pressure on Turkey. A breakaway from 49-year-old Kim Hee-jung, who made his Paralympic debut at Sydney 2000.
And a simple score in the end for the veteran Kim.
But Turkey answered back.
Nice pass inside and a little foul from behind, that will count.
Ismail Ar managed to get a 3rd point sinking this shot. But a tight contest would develop in the second quarter.
Here's Joe, nice drive to the basket, little shimmy shake, gets all the way and overcooks it. Gets his own rebound, ties the game up at 33 here.
And with time running out, Turkey's Dennis Akar was determined to restore the lead heading into the halftime break.
And, well, it's like he's running layup line at halftime, that one. Turkey back in the lead.
It all came down to a decisive fourth quarter. Korea trailed, but it was still close.
Big three. Oh, string! What a shot from Odom Sok with the big triple here with 3 to play. He halves the deficit.
But Turkey were quick to respond. Not only were they making their shots, but they were drawing fouls from the Koreans.
Foul called and one! Big bucket! Gumash inside, runs off 21 seconds, takes the contact, and is able to score through it.
That delivered another opportunity to score from the free throw.
Didn't make a massive impact on the shot, but it does give him a chance to add another point to the tally.
Late on errors by the South Korean team saw Turkey open up a decisive lead. Steals by an impressive showing from captain Rugby.
Celebrations have begun early.
The 40-year-old scored 25 points in the match. In the end, it was relief for Turkey, who recorded their first win. Final score, Republic of Korea 70, Turkey 80.
In the men's goalball competition for visually impaired athletes, Germany played their second Group B match against Ukraine, having won their opening game against Turkey. The Germans, silver medalists behind Brazil at the 2018 World Championships, were already on course for the knockout stages. But this was also a meeting of Europe's top 2 teams and a chance for Paralympic newcomers Ukraine to avenge their defeat by the Germans in the 2019 European Championship final. It was tight, with no goals until 2 minutes before half-time.
Oh, and it is a great goal by Rodion Zahalin.
1-0. And no sooner had Zahalin broken through, he repeated the trick.
One goal is followed by another. Finding his mark now.
2-0. And in a flurry of scoring to finish the half, Germany pulled one back before Ukraine restored their 2-goal lead at the break. In a tight match between 2 strong teams, small margins made the difference for Ukraine at the crucial moments.
It's been given. The goal judge has given the goal. The ball has to cross the line entirely.
That was the key moment for the European Championship runners-up, and they pulled away from their rivals with a penalty to take a 3-goal lead at 6-3. With time running out, Germany rallied with a penalty of their own to cut the deficit back to 2 goals. But Ukraine stayed resolute in defence and wrapped up the match with a string of penalties and 4 unanswered goals.
Performance by Ukraine, absolutely dominant from the beginning of the match against the European champions who denied them the gold medal in Germany in 2019.
Ukraine's first Paralympic appearance and an 11-5 victory. Welcome to Japan, where sportsmen and women from around the world are competing at the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games. In these highlights, the Games athletics program gets underway with 6 gold medals to be won. 3 days of rowing begins at the Sea Forest Waterway. And we have the best of an all-European match as Denmark meet France in wheelchair rugby. The opening day of Paralympic track and field competition in Tokyo's Olympic Stadium and the men's 5,000 metres T11 classification for athletes with visual impairment, where athletes are accompanied by guide runners. This was expected to be a battle between the world's top-ranked runner, Kenya Karasawa from Japan, and one of the athletes from Kenya, Rio 2016 bronze medalist Wilson Bai. In hot, draining conditions, Bai was in the leading group of a crowded field from the start with Brazil's Yeltsin Jacques. But Bai faded, and at the bell, the Japanese Karasawa came storming through the field. Karasawa already had the best time in the world this year, and he was flying. But in a remarkable finish, Karasawa then faded on the final bend, and the Brazilian Jacques, who looked to have lost his chance, somehow found the energy to retake the lead.
It's Yeltsin Jacques of Brazil, who is now 10, 15 metres in front, and Yeltsin Jacques is going to come down to take the victory, with Karasawa, Kenya of Japan in second place.
An extraordinary race of twists and turns, and the first track gold medal of the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games went to Brazil's Yeltsin Jacques. In the women's long jump T11 for visually impaired athletes, Ukraine's European champion Yulia Pavlenko had high hopes of a gold medal. But despite a jump of 4 metres 86, she was struggling with an ankle injury and could not improve on third place. The drama came from defending Paralympic champion and world record holder Silvania Costa of Brazil. She had been struggling in the early rounds, but then this. It looked good, but confirmation of a 5-metre jump had the Brazilian jumping for joy.
And 5 metres, she's back to the top spot. That's great passion for you.
Another gold medal and more family success to follow her older brother's victory, also in the long jump in the Rio Paralympics.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Tunisia's Raoua Talili was the big favourite in the women's shot put F41 for athletes with short stature, having won gold at the last 3 Paralympic Games, as well as being a 3-times world champion. Talili made a sensational start in Tokyo. This was her second throw, a new world record of 10 metres 55.
Loads of power. You see the amount of effort she puts into that, and that's a very big throw. She now holds the world record of 10 metres and 55 centimetres with her second throw.
It was enough to win the Tunisian a 4th successive shot put gold medal, having also won the discus gold in Rio. But if that was special, this was one of the most remarkable Paralympic debuts. In the F38 javelin, Colombia's Jose Lemos Rivas with the first throw of the competition in his first major championships.
That's huge, it's a world record. His first throw and his first major championships, and he's picked up a new world record of 60.31 metres.
A memorable start to his Paralympic career for the 30-year-old, a new world mark, beating the old one by 2 metres, and with it, the gold medal. In the women's 100 metres T35, Zhao Jia of the People's Republic of China hoped to defend her title against Australia's world record holder Isis Holt, who she beat to gold in Rio. This was the return.
No problems at all though. Zhao blasts out of the block. She gets away the quickest of all. Isis Holt is doing her best to try and reel her in. Maria Lyle going backwards somewhat. Zhao is out front. Can Zhao hold on to Zhao and Isis Holt? Zhao wins it. A new world record of 13.00 seconds.
Victory again for the Chinese and a 3rd Paralympic title to follow the 100 and 200 metre titles in Rio. And there was Chinese success in the women's F55 discus with Dong Feshar beating the rest of the field with her first throw of 26.64. Her second Paralympic gold, retaining the title she won in Rio 5 years ago.
The journey to Tokyo 2020 began for Rogier Dorsman when he started losing his sight 9 years earlier. He developed a passion for swimming, and now he was representing the Netherlands in the final of the men's 400 metres freestyle S11 class at the Tokyo Aquatic Centre. Dorsman in lane 4 was not going to miss his big opportunity.
But a man who has overcome adversity and said that this Paralympic Games has just changed his world so significantly. He's coming home to be a Paralympic champion, and indeed he does relatively comfortably.
Dorsman, a deserved winner on his Paralympic debut. One of the most memorable moments in the pool came in the women's race. It was provided by Anastasia Pagonis from the United States of America.
She has a guide dog named Radar, but I tell you what, she did not need any radar in the pool here. It's only a question of how much she was going to win by, some said. And indeed, the hype is true. She is a sensation. She's 17 years old. She breaks her own world record.
Pagonis was elated. Her smile said so much. The favourite in the men's 100-metre breaststroke SB9 was Stefano Raimondi from Italy. Much to his relief, the race went as expected. Raimondi, who has a leg impairment due to a traffic accident, secured victory. The women's race was dominated by two swimmers from the Netherlands. Chantal Zederveld in lane 4 won bronze at Rio 2016 behind teammate Lisa Kruger. This time the outcome would be different.
This is going to be a genuine Dutch delight in the pool, because we have gone double Dutch, and we are going to see a 1-2 for the Netherlands. But is it going to be in world record time? Will she break her own world record? She has done. The first swimmer to go under 1:11. Chantal Zederveld, the defending champion, finishes second. And for Australia, it is Kira Stevens.
A proud day in the pool for the Netherlands. Paralympic champion Ihar Boki from Belarus had already added one gold medal from Tokyo 2020 to his haul. Could he take another in the final of the men's 100-metre backstroke S13? The Belarusian led from the start. At the finish, he shattered his own world record time by nearly half a second to take another gold medal. In the women's race in the same category, 17-year-old Gia Pergolini from the United States of America was looking for her first Paralympic medal. The American in lane 4 had set a world record time in qualifying and went even quicker here. Gold to Gia Pergolini of the United States of America. All eyes were on the three-time Paralympic champion Andrei Kalina of the Russian Paralympic Committee in lane 4 in the men's 100-metre breaststroke final, SB8. His nearest rival, Oscar Galisteo Salguero of Spain, was next to him in lane 5. The Russian swimmer had a strong start and at the turn was in the lead. He was well ahead in the last 50 metres. He took the gold. Spain's Oscar Galisteo Salguero with the silver, and bronze to Yang Guanglong of the People's Republic of China. The women's 100-metre breaststroke SB8 final was a battle between two swimmers. Rio 2016 bronze medalist Ellen Keane of Ireland on the far side, and New Zealand's most decorated Paralympian Sophie Pascoe. Going into the last 50 metres, there was little to separate them. It was Ireland's Ellen Keane with the first touch. She took her first Paralympic gold medal. Italy had qualified first for the mixed 4x50 metres freestyle relay 20 points final. But the People's Republic of China were the clear favourites going into this as the reigning Paralympic and world champions. And they didn't disappoint. China comfortably took the gold, setting a new world record. Italy with the silver, and the bronze to Brazil.
In the swimming heats, there was a surprise in the men's 200-metre freestyle S14. In a race for swimmers with an intellectual impairment, the defending champion was Tang Wai Lok of Hong Kong, China, who started in lane 3. In the central lane 5, Japan-born Australian Ricky Bettar had an outstanding start. Not so for Tang, who dropped as low as 5th in the early stages. Tang is known for his strong finishes, but he couldn't muster one here as they entered the final length. He'd overtaken Bettar for 3rd, but dropped away to come in 4th place, nearly 2 seconds behind winner Liam Shooter of Australia. The reigning champion's time wasn't fast enough to make the final. The pace in the women's 50-metre freestyle S11, though, was electrifying. It featured the world's fastest vision-impaired swimmers. In Heat 1, the Netherlands' Lisette Brownsma was narrowly beaten by Ma Jia of the People's Republic of China, whose 30.05 set a new world record. It was an incredibly fast heat and put the pressure on the previous world record holder, Karolina Pelendritu of Cyprus. She was in lane 4 for Heat 2 alongside world champion Marina Pidovna of Ukraine in lane 5 and defending Paralympic champion Li Guiji in lane 3. Pelendritu started well.
She's ahead of world record pace here, so we are seeing some really top swimming, some fight back here from Li Guiji going alongside her, and she might touch ahead of Pelendritu. It's just a fingertip ahead of Li.
Just minutes after losing her world record, Pelendritu took it straight back, becoming the first woman under 30 seconds. Li, in 2nd place, would have also set a new world record in a sensational pair of heats. Heat 1 of the men's 50-metre butterfly S5 gave a chance for Abbas Karimi to make history. Born without arms, he's originally from Kabul, Afghanistan. He was aiming to become the very first member of the Refugee Paralympic team to reach a Paralympic final. He'd race in lane 3. China's Yuan Weiyi in lane 4 quickly dominated as he looked to compete in a 3rd final of these games. Karimi battled Kazakh Siyazbek Daliyev for 2nd, but his time was what mattered. It had to be one of the 8 fastest overall. While Yuan set a new Paralympic record, Karimi finished 3rd with a 36.36. That turned out to be the 5th quickest of all the heats. Delight for Yuan, who'd have a chance to secure a 2nd gold medal of the Games, alongside Karimi, the first ever Refugee Paralympic finalist.
Rodolfo Riscala from Brazil was the rider who set the early standard in the Dressage individual test grade 4. Riscala was delighted with the way he managed to control his horse Don Henrico, and so with the rest of his team. Riscala scored 74.659% to take the lead. The Brazilian was still leading when Manon Claes of Belgium performed, riding Sandior 2. Claes established a great rhythm and was pleased with her score. 72.853% moved her into 2nd place behind Riscala. Sanne Weerts of the Netherlands riding the Mantour was the only rider to challenge those two in the rest of the competition. And Weerts was just as expressive at the end of this excellent performance. She moved into the lead with a score of 76.585%. For the Netherlands. And that proved to be enough to secure her the gold medal, with Riscala and Claes winning the silver and bronze medals respectively. In the grade 5 dressage individual test, Michelle George from Belgium made a brilliant start. She was riding best of 8 and showed great control in this performance. George's score of 76.524% would prove very difficult to beat. The competition for the medals proved to be incredibly close. Frank Hosmar from the Netherlands was riding Alphaville. That performance earned Hosmar 73.405% from the judges, putting him in 2nd place, more than 3 percentage points behind George. Sophie Wells from Great Britain was aiming to challenge both George and Hosmar as she rode Don Cara.m. And this was another strong performance. Once again, there was delight from the rider.
Congratulations to Sophie Wells.
And Emotional Wells scored 74.405%, which meant she would win silver medal. Gold medal was won by George, more than 2 percentage points ahead of the rest, and the bronze medal was won by Hosma.
I can't express how much this means to me. It's amazing. I have the mare since 1.5 years, 2 years now. We haven't been competing that much, so it was a big journey, and I'm so thankful that she's behaving like that, and she's my princess. I knew she was, but it's just a confirmation of what I thought.
Group B of the women's wheelchair basketball tournament, the People's Republic of China played current world champions, the Netherlands. China was under pressure from the start, but managed to edge out a 1-point lead in the first quarter. In the second, the challenge for the Dutch was to produce a response.
Kramer dribbles again, sends it back to Korver, banks it in from the middle.
They started to pull away, and a smile from Cher Korver as she appeared to find her rhythm. Then trouble in the third as the Netherlands failed to score a single point. An upset on the horizon as China took the lead in the fourth.
Zhang with a left-handed scoop layup and capitalizes on that.
A shocking result for the world champion Netherlands. Final score, the People's Republic of China 45, the Netherlands 38.
Women's wheelchair basketball and an opening round match between Canada and Japan. Both sides entered the contest with opening round wins already under their belt and lots of positive energy. But it was Canada that got off to a quick start.
Works the pass in for a wide open Tamara Steeves, and she does it again off the glass and in.
Canada led by 17 points at halftime. Japan tried to mount a comeback in the second half.
And here comes Odajima. Nicely done for Japan.
But Canada were too strong on this day. Kathleen Dandino with 3 three-pointers. She led all scorers with 19 points. Canada stayed perfect with a comfortable 61-35 win. Men's wheelchair basketball and opening round action between Algeria and Australia. Algeria were still searching for their first Paralympic Games win after losing all of their matches in Rio and then their opening contest here. Meanwhile, Australia were coming off a dominant 42-point opening round win, and so it was no surprise that Australia jumped out to a big lead.
The chase on Latham does beautifully. What a good breakaway from Australia. They get a 10-point advantage on the scoreboard.
Australia built a commanding 25-point advantage by halftime. Omar Zidi did all he could for Algeria, leading his side with 14 points. But it wasn't enough, as Australia put on a masterful performance, once again, making more than half their shots.
Three-pointer from Brett Stibners.
The highest scoring team in the tournament, Australia scored 83 in the 46-point victory.
Men's wheelchair basketball, and in Group A, Colombia met host nation Japan. The hosts took an early lead and dazzled in the second with stunning plays.
That's a great take. Oh, brilliant stop. That is tremendous.
Colombia tried to cut the lead and find gaps in the Japanese defense.
Hernandez again late in the shot clock. He gets a friendly bounce there off the glass.
In the third quarter, Japan's offense dried up and Colombia tried to seize the opportunity.
Shot off the rim. Good putback.
Then, in the fourth quarter, both teams were struggling to score.
What a beautiful behind-the-back pass, and that's the way to end the barren spell. Look at this. Great pass. Nice finish. And finally, some points on the board.
However, Japan held the lead. It finished Colombia 56, Japan 63.
Men's wheelchair basketball and an exciting opening round battle between Turkey and Canada. Late in the third quarter, Patrick Anderson, considered by many the greatest wheelchair basketball player of all time,
hit this shot to give Canada a 10-point lead. The three-time gold medalist finished with 24 points. But Turkey fought back and took a 5-point lead with only a minute remaining in the game.
Well played, beautifully set up.
Canada refused to quit.
Here you go, Canada on the break. Last seconds. Is he going to do it? Gonchin! Yes, indeed. 67 all.
So they played in 5-minute overtime, where Oscar Gerberlock gave Turkey the lead.
Under the basket, the captain scores. Turkey turning around. This is going back and forth, back and forth.
Gerberlock's 28 points led his side. Turkey would not trail again. They hold on for an epic 77-73 win over Canada. Women's wheelchair basketball, an opening round play featured Netherlands versus Algeria. Being in their second Paralympic Games, Algeria had yet to win a match. That streak was not expected to change as they faced the reigning world champions. Netherlands dominated from the opening tip, scoring the game's first 23 points. The first basket by Algeria came early in the second quarter.
Puts up the shot. There it is.
Netherlands led 57-12 at halftime, and they used their quickness and experience to add to that lead in the second half. Mariska Beyer led Netherlands with 33 points. Cher Kover added 23.
Here's Korver, puts it in, nothing but net.
Algeria scored only 6 points in the second half. Final score, Netherlands 109, Algeria 18.
Powerlifting women's minus 45 kilogram. The medal would go to those lifting the greatest weights. Su Zhe of People's Republic of China, a silver medalist in the under 41 kilogram category at Rio 2016 and the reigning world champion in the same body weight, set the standard to beat. There were 95 kilos on a bar for her first lift. Rio 2016 silver medalist Latifa Tijani from Nigeria had 105 kilos on the bar. This is her second attempt. This time she delivered and was on a course to take the Paralympic title here at Tokyo 2020. Poland's Justyna Kostryk, a long-time Paralympian, took the silver at Beijing 2008, but since then she had been waiting to add another medal to her collection. 101 kilos guaranteed what 41-year-old dreamed about, a podium finish. China's Tsui then made an attempt at 102 kilograms to relegate her to third place. Success! Fourth silver in a row at the Paralympic Games after winning her first in Beijing. Nigerian Tijani appeared in full confidence after claiming the gold medal, but still she tried 107 kilograms in her third attempt. And she did it. It felt good to be the Paralympic champion.
I thank you, Jehovah Almighty. I thank you, God. I thank you, God. I thank you, Allah Almighty. Alhamdulillah.
In the powerlifting men's under 54 kilogram category, David Dekhtyarev of Kazakhstan started strongly as he took the lead with 170 kilograms in his first attempt. A bronze medalist at Rio 2016, Dimitrios Bakokristos of Greece, in his last attempt was aiming for 165 kilograms, which would secure him a medal podium. In the silver position for now. But the same weight for Axel Boulon of France in his final lift. If successful, a silver medal conclusion for him because of a lower body weight in compare with the Greek. And it worked for the French. Then Dektriaev, who had already won gold, tried one more lift of 174 kg. A memorable moment for 25-year-old and his lifetime best result, the gold medal at the Paralympic Games. So bronze for Greece Christos, France's Bourlon took the silver, and the Paralympic title to Kazakhstan.
In men's goalball, defending Olympic champions Lithuania suffered a shock defeat in their opening group match and would be keen to get back to winning ways here in their second game against Algeria. And it was the favourites who struck first.
And it's a goal for Lithuania.
Two more quick goals courtesy of Genrik Pavlukiene.
Oh, straight through the gap, right left-hand side.
And just as Pazarauskas saw Lithuania open up a 3-0 lead. But Algeria, who themselves endured a heavy defeat in their first match against the host nation Japan, fought back strongly. 3 goals from Samir Beluchat saw Lithuania's lead cut to 1 by the break. Algeria and Beluchat continued in the same vein in the second half.
That was to left it off. We are all square here, 5-all.
And deservedly took the lead for the first time through that man Beluchat again. Who then scored his and Algeria's second.
Algeria again, lead by 1.
But Lithuania were by no means finished.
Oh, what a line goal that
is! A tight match finished 7 goals apiece. A fair result for both sides, their first points of Tokyo 2020. Since winning consecutive women's goalball Paralympic titles in 2000 and 2004, Canada have struggled to achieve similar heights. They're up against Israel, who had a bright start, scoring 11 goals in their opening game against Australia. Even though 18 goals were scored in these sides' first group matches, this was a much tighter affair.
Oh, bounces up in the air, but it goes over the goalpost.
Before Emma Renka broke the deadlock for Canada.
Looks for the corner, scores the goal, tucks that down the line and into the right corner.
Just the 1 goal in the first half, but the second was more lively, thanks to the goal-scoring exploits of Renka.
Oh, and she finds the gap. Oh, what a shot from Emma Rinka. And Canada extend their advantage.
Israel finally got on the score sheet, thanks to Or Mizrahi. But Mariam Salizadeh put a gloss on proceedings.
Oh, she has found a way through Israel's defence.
To give Canada their first win of these Paralympic Games. Canada 6, Israel 2, but both teams still on course to reach the knockout stages.
Goalball returned to the Makahari Mesa Hall with Turkey up against Belgium in Group B. Cleason Mapreni scored 8 times in Belgium's opening win, but this time he conceded a long ball penalty for failing to bounce his throw in each third of the court, giving Turkey's Tunçay Karakaya a chance to throw against just 1 defender.
And we have our first goal of this Group B encounter.
Belgium fought back to lead 3-1 as penalties continued to play a major role in the game. Yet an impressive Turkey wouldn't give up.
And Turkey are level.
In a tense finale, both teams profited from further penalties. But Belgium could turn to key man Cleason Mapreni, even from regular play.
And Mapreni with the goal. Well, we've seen him on the score sheet so many times in this competition.
He finished with 2 goals. Teammate Bruno van Hove converted 3 crucial penalties. Belgium edged out Turkey 6-4 in an enthralling contest to take their second Group B win. Turkey are left to rue 2 valiant defeats so far. Japan and Brazil both came into their Group D goalball meeting off the back of defeats, meaning the pressure was on from the very start. Brazil demonstrated their trademark through-the-legs throw, but the Japanese defence held firm in the first half, and thanks to Tema and Hagiwara, they found gaps at the other end.
And it's 2-0 Japan.
With a sensational 3-goal lead at half-time, Japan moved 4-1 ahead after a penalty. But Brazil hit back immediately through Victoria Amorim.
And how about that for a response from Brazil?
Inside the last 4 minutes, Brazil rediscovered their form, and Japan's lead was suddenly wiped out.
Oh, it's in! Custodio with the throw.
With the game in the balance late on at 4-4, both teams needed to hold their nerve. Brazil faltered with 30 seconds to go, conceding a penalty for bouncing the ball too far down the court, handing Japan a golden chance.
And it's just wide.
A dramatic game finished 4-4, boosting both teams' hopes of qualifying from Group D.
Itsu Velodrome had seen 9 track cycling events so far. 8 had their world records broken. Will there be a world record on day 3? That was the question. The women's C123 500-meter time trial featured Qian Wengwei from the People's Republic of China. A world champion in her category, she was one of the riders to look out for. Just 2 laps of the track here and the Chinese with a phenomenal ride to take the lead. And there it was, a new world record in her class. Keiko Sugiura of Japan used to be a triathlete but suffered a brain injury in a bike accident in 2016. Now at the age of 50, she competes in her first Paralympic Games. The mother of 2 posted an impressive time and finished just behind Wengwei in silver position. But the big favorites were still waiting their turn. Australia's Amanda Reid, a multiple world champion and silver medalist in Rio. Reid now in gold medal position, beating her own world records.
She's absolutely flying. It could even be a record. And she throws to the line. It will be the fastest time.
The only rider left was her biggest rival, Alida Norbuys of the Netherlands, the defending champion.
Can she bring it home for the Netherlands? Norbuys is going to cross the line, and she's just outside, and it'll be silver for Alida Norbuys and gold for Amanda Reid of Australia.
It's the only full contact wheelchair sport, so you'll see people hitting into wheelchairs, see people falling out, but it's so tactical as well. You're using your teammates as blocks, setting picks for you, and ultimately it's probably the most offensive-driven sport in the world.
Yeah, it is very physical, and you know, lots of hits. That's why we have a mechanic hand to help us fix those cracks and dents and bumps that happen in the course of the game.
Played on a basketball court, you have 12 seconds to get the ball across the halfway line. You then have a total of 40 seconds to score. You have to dribble the ball or pass the ball every 10 seconds. Bar that, there's full chair contact.
We can't physically touch each other, but our chairs can touch each other. You know, that's where all of the contact is.
You get 12 people on a team, but only 4 on court at any one time, and that will be a mixture of disabilities. You really have to work hard to get to where you want to get to in sport, and this is elite sport, and hopefully we can show that off this week.
Places in the knockout stages of the table tennis were at stake as players competed in their final group matches. In Class 6, Greece's Kanelis Marios Hatzikyriakos had to beat Christian Detoni of Chile to advance from Group A. Here, history teacher Detoni had the chance to win just the one game he needed to guarantee progression. He then comfortably won the second. And in the third, he had a second match point here. Hatzikyriakos saved it and went on to win 4 points in a row to steal the game. After edging the fourth game as well, it came down to a decider. The Greek with the match point here at 10-6. A memorable comeback for Hatzikyriakos. He was through to the round of 16. In the women's event, bronze medalist for Rio 2016, Young and the Republic of Korea met Chile's Tamara Leonel.
On table 8, women's singles.
Young knew a defeat would risk her elimination, but the world number 4 started strongly and raced into a 10-2 lead. she eased through the rest of the match to book her place in the quarterfinals with a straight game win. In Class 8, it would end much closer between Juliana Wolf of Germany and home favourite Tomono Yuri. After suffering with a heart condition in recent months, for Wolf, simply making these games was a huge achievement. This was one of her best points on the way to a 2-game lead. But Tomono struck back. She'd had to switch playing hands as a child after a stroke left her paralysed down her right side. Now the 21-year-old levelled the match at 2 games all here. Tomono continued her momentum and here converted her first match point. Another remarkable turnaround complete, and Tomono kept her hopes alive of a medal at her home Paralympic Games.
Interesting. Just deep off the table. What reach here to cover that wide forehand shot. Oliveira making a very wide shot. And the pressure once again keeps her pinned on the backhand side. And India's Bhavinaben Patel takes game number 1. Patel with the serve. And the outright tomahawk serve does it. The short pitch forehand, a bit of rotation on it, and it is tied up. And deep on the table after a lot of work. Side to side here, corner to corner. Patel covering both sides quite well. Bhavina Patel does it. She secures the second game. What a comeback from down 7-10, tough as nails in game number 1 and game number 2. She has overcome game points, but many this time around, 13-11. Hasn't been easy to do. Patel has been very strong in the touch game. Up to a certain level, obviously, the specifics of the shot. Patel now just 2 points away. Good placement there, sounded like he caught a bit of the edge. Finding the deep angle here. It is 4 game and match points for a 3-0 victory. And she does it in 3 straight games. Bhavina Patel bringing India some pride, moves on to the women's singles quarterfinals. Look at the way it finished again. Touch, change of pace, and everything else. Patel with some outstanding play in their first encounter. She will move on to the women's singles quarterfinals.
ब्राजील के साथ खेलने के लिए मेरे पास यही स्ट्रेटजी थी कि उसका वो इतना अटैक नहीं करती है, तो एक वो डिफेंस प्लेयर है, तो वो ज़्यादा मतलब डिफेंस खेलती थी, तो मैंने उसके लिए यही स्ट्रेटजी बनाई थी कि मुझे अटैक करने हैं, तो वो डिफेंस उसका वो जितना डिफेंस करती थी मैं उतना अटैक कर रही थी, तो और दूसरा स्ट्रेटजी ये था कि उसको बॉडी मूवमेंट इतना नहीं था, तो मैं उसको बॉडी उसका मूव करने का पूरा वो ट्राई कर रही थी। क्वार्टर फाइनल मैच मेरा वर्ल्ड रैंकिंग नंबर 2 सर्बिया के साथ है, और ये मेरा उसके साथ पहली बार ये मैच रहेगा, तो मेरे लिए ये एक्सपीरियंस रहेगा और मैं पूरा कॉन्फिडेंट हूँ कि मैं अपना बेस्ट दूंगी। सभी मेरे भारतवासियों को यही मैसेज देना चाहूँगी कि बस ऐसे ही अपने आशीर्वाद हम पे बनाए रखें। चीयर फॉर इंडिया, चीयर फॉर पैरालंपिक्स। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
The Yogi National Stadium played host to the Group B mixed wheelchair rugby match between Great Britain and New Zealand, with the latter starting proceedings with a traditional haka. It was Great Britain who made a blistering start. Jim Roberts scored 7 tries to help his side into a 17-6 lead at the close of the period. The so-called wheel blacks, New Zealand, just couldn't contain Aaron Phipps, who finished the half with 9 scores, as Great Britain built a commanding lead. 3 quick third-period tries from Teinafi Lafoni gave New Zealand some hope of a fight back early in the second half. But there was just no stopping Stuart Robinson, who capitalised on a number of steals to weigh in with 6 third-period tries, as Great Britain cruised into the final period with a healthy lead. Halfway through the final period, Ayaz Bouta brought up the half-century for Great Britain after unselfish play from Jim Roberts.
As we see Great Britain just doing what Great Britain does. Brilliant, brilliant. That's the only way you can describe this team.
And the emphatic victory was wrapped up by man-of-the-match Roberts, who displayed his speed and vision throughout the game. With 2 victories, Great Britain qualified for the semi-finals as they look for their first Paralympic medal.
Denmark faced France in both teams' final group match in the wheelchair rugby. Denmark were looking for a victory that would secure them qualification for the semi-finals, while France needed to win by 2 clear points and hope other results went their way to have a chance to progress. France were first to gain the advantage in the match. After an exchange of points in the first quarter, a penalty turned over possession to the French, and their star man, Jonathan Ivanat, was able to cross the goal line to hand his team a 2-point lead in the first period. Denmark got back on terms in the second quarter though. The combination of Sebastian Fredriksson and Mark Peters able to thwart the French attack, get the all-important turnover, and the scores were level at half-time. The third quarter followed a similar pattern, with both teams matching each other point for point, until a loose pass from Denmark's Leon Jørgensen allowed Sebastian Vidal of France to steal and gain the narrowest of leads for his side once again. France maintained that slender advantage throughout the fourth period, and as the clock ticked down, they had control of possession and the opportunity to secure the 2-point win they needed. French captain Ivanat again provided the outlet for the team in blue, and they secured the 2-point win required. All eyes now turn to the final match in this group.
The Paralympic rowing regatta began at the Sea Forest Waterway with the 2 heats of the PR1 women's single sculls. The Norwegian world champion Birgit Skartstein, the standout favourite for the gold medal, started strongest. In a Paralympic first, the race distance has been extended from 1 to 2 kilometres, bringing parity with Olympic rowing, and Skartstein is renowned for her endurance. Only the winner Skartstein went directly to the final. Natalie Benoit of France in second, and the rest of the field would have another chance to make it in the repechage. Israel's Moran Samuel, determined to add to her bronze medal from Rio, was the early leader in Heat 2. In this PR1 class, the athletes have restricted trunk function. The seats are fixed, therefore all the power is generated through the upper body. Anna Shemeret of Ukraine was second. Samuel first, the others into that repechage to determine the last 4 spots in the start list for the final. Men's rowing and the PR1 single sculls Heat 1. Australia's Rio silver medalist Eric Horry and René Campos Pereira of Brazil in the nearside lane battled for the early lead. Only the winner would progress to the final, and the Brazilian was determined to challenge the Australian favourite. The question was, could he maintain that pace over the new, longer 2-kilometre distance? Campos Pereira the victor, and Horry knew that he'd have to race again in the repechage. Brazil! In Heat 2, Roman Polyansky of Ukraine timed his attack on early leader Great Britain's Benjamin Pritchard. With the Tokyo Gate Bridge in the background, Polyansky showed exactly why he is the reigning Paralympic champion, rowing into a lead of over 12 seconds over Pritchard as he approached the red buoys, signifying the final 250 metres. The Ukrainian into the final with Campos Pereira, Pritchard and the other 4 athletes into the repechage. The PR2 mixed double sculls Heat 1. People's Republic of China crew Zhang Zijian and Liu Shuang started stronger than favourites Corne de Koning and Anneke van der Meer of the Netherlands. The Chinese crew maintained their pace to the line, and the Dutch would have to race again to earn their final spot. Paralympic and world champions Lauren Rolls and Lawrence Whiteley are the boat to beat here in Tokyo, but had to work hard to catch the United States of America. Once in front, the British looked unbeatable. The Australians now in second. Great Britain into the final. In the PR3 Cox 4, also a mixed event, boats have a sliding seat and crews are comprised of athletes with varied impairments. Heat 1 favourites, the United States of America, powered into the lead. The coxswain sat low at the front of the boat could be heard barking instructions to set the pace. A commanding performance from the Americans as they laid down their marker. Heat 2 and double Paralympic champions Great Britain chose to start strong and took a commanding early lead over France. With 500 metres to go, their place in the final was secure. A dominant win justified their billing as gold medal favourites.
In the men's wheelchair fencing épée category A, the bronze medal bout featured Tian Zhangquan of People's Republic of China against his compatriot Sun Gang. Chan was too strong for the defending Paralympic champion Sun, and he took the bronze medal. In the gold medal contest, Piers Gilliver of Great Britain was up against Maxim Shabarov, representing the Russian Paralympic Committee. Gilliver outsmarted the Russian, and his delight at taking gold was plain to see.
Feels absolutely incredible. Also so surreal, it doesn't quite feel real yet. It just really means the world to me.
In the category B, bronze medal bout, world number 1, Britain's Dmitry Kucher faced off against the gold medal winner from Rio 2016, Belarus's Andrei Pranovich. Kucher was more effective in the decisive moments, and he took the bronze, winning 15 points to 11. In the gold medal competition, Alexander Kuzyakov of Russia was in control from beginning to end against Brazil's Giovanni Guisoni. He built up a healthy lead early on, and he comfortably claimed the gold, winning 15-8 to his obvious delight.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Tokyo.
The women's individual épée saw medals awarded in 2 categories. The bronze medal match in category A was between Lulia Meya of the Russian Paralympic Committee and Bian Jing of the People's Republic of China. Bian was looking to add to the gold medal she won in the sabre. The two fencers were level at 5-5, but in the last few seconds, Bian landed the decisive blow and exploded with delight. Amarilla Verez from Hungary took on Rong Jing from China in the gold medal match. Having beaten Rong's teammate in the semi-finals, Verez continued her winning run to become Paralympic champion.
This is what I've been working for like my whole entire life, and I finally made it, and I'm just very happy.
Contesting bronze in category B was Thailand's Se Sunijana and Chinese world and Paralympic champion Zhu Jingjing. The Chinese struggled to deal with the speed of the Thai, and it was Jana who ran out a comfortable winner. Going for gold in Category B were China's Tang Shumei, who was looking to add another gold to the one she claimed in the sabre. She proved too strong for Victoria Boykova of the Russian Paralympic Committee. Tan took the gold medal with a comfortable win.
The first match of sitting volleyball at Tokyo 2020. Japan faced Italy in the women's preliminaries Pool A at the Makuhari Messe Hall. On their third Paralympic Games appearance, the host team got off to a good start, but in a hard-fought set, Italy came back strongly to just edge it 25-23. Making their Paralympic Games debut in Tokyo, Italy opened the scoring in the second set and stayed in the lead throughout, taking it convincingly by 25 points to 11. Japan tried to fight back, scoring the first point in the third set. But they were no match for a determined Italy, who took the match 3-0.